Online Course Development, a Best Practices presentation by Candace Daniels for OMDE 610 Spring 2016. Meet Rob, an adjunct professor at a local university. His superiors are putting the pressure on him to either blend his lectures, offering half online, half in person, or offer the course completely online for two reasons. One, they feel students nowadays are bored listening to professors pontificate, and two, blended and completely online courses are the way of the future. Rob has noticed a jump in the number of students discussing course content on social media. Also, his department recently shared that in 2013, 5,522,194 students were enrolled in an online course at a degree-granting post-secondary institution. The size of the market for online education is significant and growing rapidly, outstripping the growth of on-site university enrollment. Rob knows that his department's suggestions are his only way to remain relevant. However, Rob questions how he can redesign his course as to not simply replace face-to-face lectures with PowerPoint slides and lecture notes. Well, Rob and others in his situation have come to the right place. This presentation will review pre, throughout, and post-online course development best practices undergirded by distance education research. We begin with pre-online course development or best practice group 1, consider the cost. Better yet, consider the cost why. Researchers Sangra et al. Suggest answering these questions before designing an online course. Why are we going to use e-learning? How widely should e-learning be used in our institution? And do we really think e-learning will help us to improve teaching and learning processes? Rationales offered by Bates and Hanna to widen targets for universities, to improve university economic expectations, to respond to technological imperative, and to improve the quality of education should drive decisions to move forward with plans to develop a blended or online course. Any other reasons could be deemed as facilities trying to extend their face-to-face activities to a technological environment without taking into account how educational context has changed, which is a poor excuse for developing an online course. Next, institutions should consider the cost who. Historically, as Harrison writes, online educators were on their own. They were individually responsible for designing the course, developing the curriculum, organizing the resources, and finding and obtaining access to online forms for course activities. However, now, this could be the result of a collective effort by a team of professionals, teachers, content experts, administrative staff, tutors, educational designers, graphic designers, publishers, and multimedia production staff within the institution or outsourced. Determining who will be tasked with some or all aspects of course design before beginning the process will dictate, based on individual skill level, the course's instructional design. Which brings us to the throughout course design phase or best practice group 2. Consider the community. The term community derives from common Latin roots communicare and communis, which means to share, a hallmark of the knowledge age. The last few years has brought about an educational paradigm, shifting focus from knowledge transmission to knowledge building, revitalizing work around the community of inquiry or COI framework. Overlap of social presence, teaching presence, and cognitive presence are what researchers identify as the educational experience. Thus, consider the community social targets instructional design opportunities for learners to project their personal characteristics into the community of inquiry, thereby presenting themselves as real people. A study on implementing effective online teaching practices found informal conference areas allowed students the opportunity to build on interactions that were developed in other areas of the course. Introduction discussions, open chat rooms, even group work helped to recreate vibrant in-class discussions or out-of-class interactions, solidifying students as human. Consider the community teaching, again based on the COI teaching presence, focuses on the design, facilitation, and direction of cognitive and social processes for the purpose of realizing personally meaningful and educational, worthwhile learning outcomes. This happens through pre-learning activities which are tied to course organization and the setting of expectations, typically as a review of the course syllabus. The last, consider the community instructional design best practice, stems from COI, cognitive presence, in which the participants in any particular configuration of a community of inquiry are able to construct meaning through sustained communication. Again, undergirded by sharing, the online environment offers opportunities to capitalize on new online collaborative learning theory pedagogy, which focuses on collaborative learning, knowledge building, and internet use as a means to reshape formal, non-formal, and informal education. Online simulations and case studies of virtual organizations, student-led online seminars, co-production of real-world products and programs, and online educational games and immersive learning environments are a few ideas of how course content can be re-engineered to capitalize on the online technology. And lastly, the final online course design best practice, consider the continuation assessment. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of research on the hallmarks of a successful online course. However, California State University Chico has developed a quality online learning and teaching or CULT rubric. The rubric contains 9 sections with 54 objectives, provides guidance and feedback to instructors, recommends steps for mobile platform readiness, and solicits student feedback, all as a means to evaluate the quality of online and hybrid courses. This thorough examination will highlight the strengths and weaknesses of the course, identify as to if the course should continue in its current state, undergo revisions, or be completely redone. Thus, to conclude, this assessment rubric, combined with these online course development best practices, offer Rob and others in his situation effective means to create and improve quality online learning programs, as arguably online course design is an indispensable component of quality distance education. Thank you.